Hello everyone. In this video, let's talk about collection related data types. Okay. Okay. So, which data types comes under this collection related data types? So, the list of the data types which comes under this category is list, tuple, set, frozen set, dict, that is dictionary, and next one is bytes, byte array and range. Okay. So, all these comes under collection related data types. All this comes under collection related data types. Okay. So, previously we have seen fundamental data types. Previously we have seen fundamental data types. What are those? Int, float, complex, string, and next one is, what is the last one? Bool, right? So, all these are fundamental data types. So, what is the difference between these two? I am calling this as collection related data types. Means these collection related data types will hold group of values at a time. These collection related data types will hold group of values at a time. Now, coming to this fundamental data types, here the variable can hold only single value at a time. See here, a equal to 10, only single value at a time, right? A variable holds only single value. Okay, but here group of values will be held by all these collection related data types. So, these collection related data types are used to represent multiple values under a single entity. Okay, so that means collection of objects. All these are objects, right? So, collection of all these objects under a single entity, single variable, that is called as a collection related data types. Those are called as collection related data types. So, for each and every collection related data types, they allow different properties. Okay, different properties each and every collection related data types will have. So, depending upon our requirement, we have to select which collection related data type we have to use. Okay. So, now let us learn about each and every data type, each and every collection related data type in detail. Okay. So, first learn about the list data type. Coming to the list data type. So, what is meant by a list data type means collection of objects as a single entity, okay, in which the first one is a collection of objects as a single entity in which first one is order is important, and second one is duplicates are allowed. Okay. So, if a group of elements which hold these two properties, then we will call it as a list. Okay. So, collection of objects as a single entity. What is meant by a single entity and how to collect the objects as a single entity, I will explain. Okay. So, what are the properties, what are the two properties that it has to accept, it has to follow, the list data type has to follow, the order is important, it has to follow the order, and second one is duplicates are allowed. So, what is meant by duplicates? I will explain now. So, here the list data type should be represented in square brackets. Okay. So, here in these square brackets you can write some elements, some values. These are called as objects, right? So, here I can write so these are the collection of objects as a single entity. Okay, here L is the entity, it is a variable, a reference variable which holds all these objects, all this collection of objects. So, previously we have represent only a single value to an object, that means single object to a variable, but here we are holding a collection of objects, a group of objects as a single entity in which order is important. So, what is order is, what is meant by order? Okay, order means how you are inserting the elements. In the same manner you will get the output. Okay, that is called as order. Okay, how you are taking the elements in the same order, output will be displayed. So, what happens internally in the memory also, in the same manner these objects will be stored. Okay, that is nothing but order, insertion order. That means insertion order is preserved in this list data type. Insertion order is preserved. Okay, so here this is my list data type. Okay, so a list data type is a collection of objects as a single entity in which order is important and duplicates are allowed. What is meant by duplication? You can use the same object again and again, that is called as a duplication. So, here see, if you consider 10, again I use the 10 object in the same list. This is called as duplication. Okay, so here in the list duplicates are allowed. Okay, suppose if you print L, then what happens? 10, 20, 10, hello and 30. This is the output. That means in which order you have taken the list, in the same order I will get the output. Okay, that means internally in the memory also, in the same order these values are stored. Internally in the memory also, in the same manner these values are stored. And here L is a reference variable to these objects, to this list of objects, right. So, as internally in the same order these objects are stored, in the same order I will get the output. In the same order the output will be displayed. Okay. Next, suppose if you print the type of L. So, what is the purpose of this type function? The type function will always, it will show the data type of this data type. Type is nothing but the type function is a built-in function which is used to represent the data type of that element, the data type of this variable, right. So, here the output is list data type. Okay. So, here insertion order is preserved, that means in which order you have inserted the elements, in the same order you will get the output. Okay, and also duplicates are allowed, that means you can use the same object any number of times. You can use the same object any number of times, that is nothing but a duplication. Okay. So, this is about the list data type. Okay. So, list is a collection of elements under a single entity in which order is important. Order is important means that is the thing which I told already. So, in which order you have taken the list, in the same order the objects will be stored in the memory, and in the same order you will get the output, that is the order. And next one is duplicates are allowed. You can use the same variable any number of times. Okay, the same object you can use in the list any number of times, that is nothing but a duplication. Okay. And next, here in my list, if you observe, here you have multiple data types 10, 20, 10, 30. These are all integer data types. And coming to hello, it is a string data type. That means within the list you can take heterogeneous, that means different data types. Heterogeneous types are allowed, that means you can take different data types as you wish. Here you can also take some float value like this, some complex value, whatever may be the values which you want to store, all those data types are allowed within the list. Okay. So, heterogeneous data types are allowed in the list. Okay. And next one is So here if you are taking a list, okay, suppose if you want to access this list, then definitely you have to need, that means you have to go for indexing, okay. So that means here these are my list elements, and always for a list element the index values starts from 0 to n minus 1. If the list contains n number of elements, then the index will be from 0 to n minus 1, right. So 0, the index for 20 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are all index values, okay. So what is the purpose of these index values? Index values are used to perform to access the list items. That means if you want to access the objects of the list, by using index we can access the objects of the list, right, okay. Now let us see how to perform indexing, okay, how to perform slicing operation, okay, all those. Now let us see, let me wipe the board and explain all those, okay. So now consider a list L, okay. So in which 10, 20, hello, 10, 30. So these are the objects of my list, okay. So one important thing you have to remember is the list should always be represented in square brackets only, okay. List should always be represented in square brackets only. That is very important thing you have to remember, because for other data types, for other collection related data types, for tuple, for dict, we will follow some different notations to representation. So for each and every data type we have to follow the notations strictly. So for list, this square bracket is the notation to represent the list, okay. So the elements should be inserted, should be represented of the elements of the list should be represented in only square brackets, okay. And next one is here these are the elements of my list, okay. So now consider the index values 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are the index values of my list. That means if list consists of n elements, then the range, that means the index values ranges from 0 to n minus 1, okay. So when we will use this list concept, generally if you are going to represent more than one element, some collection of objects, suppose if you want to store roll number of students, okay, suppose if you want to store some name of some 10 employees of your company, okay. So then it is better to go with this list, right, okay. So if you want to access the list, then you have to use this index, okay. That means suppose L of 0 means 0th index of the list, that is it will represent 10, okay. Similarly L of 1 means 20, L of 2 hello, okay, like that. Suppose L of minus 1 means always the last element, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5. L of minus 1 means it will always represent the last element, okay. That means indexing is allowed in the list, indexing is allowed in the list, okay. So till now what we have learnt about the list, list is a collection of elements in which order is allowed, order is important, okay. Next one is, second one is duplicates are allowed, right. And third one is heterogeneous data types are allowed, heterogeneous data types are allowed. That means different data types you can store, integer, string, float, okay, whatever may be the data types which you want to allowed, you can store in the list, okay. Which you want to store, you can store that in the list. That means the heterogeneous data types are allowed. And next one is fourth one is indexing is allowed in the list, indexing concept is allowed in the list, okay. Now let me teach about the other property, that is slicing. So you already heard about this word slicing, while you are dealing with while you are learning with a string data type, right? So in a string, a substring, if you want to access, then you can use this slicing operation. Okay, by using this slicing operation, you can get the substring value of a string. Okay, in the same manner, in this list, if I want only some elements of the list, if I want to access only some objects of this list, then by using this slicing operation, I can access. Okay, see, suppose L of 1, 4, always the slicing should be represented with like this colon. Okay, so what is the meaning of this means? Okay, 1 is the begin index value, and here 4 means that is third 4 end index value minus 1, end minus 1 here. That is from index value 1 to end minus 1 means 1 to 3 index values. The objects which are stored in these index values, those values will be represented by using this slicing. That means 1 to 3 index value is 1 to 3. So the output will be 20, hello and 10. Okay, so this is the output of that of this slice operation. So okay, that means here 1 is the begin index value. This represents the begin index value, that means index value 1. So from here you have to start, and from 4 means up to 3 index value you can access. So this part of the list will be displayed by using that slicing operation. That means slicing operation is allowed in the list. If you want to access only some elements of the list, by using slicing operation you can access those elements, those objects of the list. Okay, okay, next one. Suppose for example, if I consider an empty list. Okay, if my list is empty, I just opened the brackets, square brackets and closed, I don't insert, that means I have no elements in this list. This is called as an empty list, right? Okay, suppose if I want to insert some elements in the list, is it possible? Is it possible to insert elements in the empty list? Right, yes, we can, it is possible, we can insert. So for inserting elements in the list, we have a function, we have a predefined function, that is append. Append is the function which is used to insert the elements in the list. It is a built-in function. Okay, by using this built-in function we can insert elements in the list. Similarly, if you want to remove the elements, we have another built-in function, that is remove. Remove is the function which is used to remove the elements from the list. So here see, here I have my empty list. So here L dot append of 10. Okay, L dot append of 20. L dot append of 30. Okay, so by using these 3 append functions, I can insert 3 different elements in the list. Now if you print L list, then the output will be 10, 20 and 30. Okay, so by using append function you can insert the elements like this. L dot append of 10, that means 10 value will be inserted. Next L dot append of 20, 20 will be inserted. So by using append function you can insert different elements of the list, and always the append function will insert the elements at the last. In the list at the last, that means 10, 20, 30. In this order the insertion of the elements will be taken place in the list. Okay, so like this L dot append of 10, 20, 30, like this you can perform the insertion operation. Suppose if you want to remove the elements of the list, okay, then L dot remove of 10. Okay, suppose if you print L now, If you print the list, then only 20 comma 30 will be printed, right? Because 10, 20, 30 are my list elements. Now I remove 10, then 20 comma 30 are the remaining list elements. So by using append and remove built-in functions, we can add elements in the list by using append, and we can remove the elements from the list by using remove. Okay, so these two are built-in functions of the list. So because of these functions, the list can be growable and the list can be shrinkable. Okay, when the list is growable, if you add the elements of the list, if you add the elements into the list is growable, it grows, right? If you remove all the elements from the list, the list will be shrinkable. You can shrink the list objects as well as you can grow the list objects by insertion, by inserting elements into the list. Okay, so that is another property, that is list is growable and it is also shrinkable. So these are all the important properties of the list. Okay, that is order is important, duplicates are allowed, heterogeneous data types are allowed, and next one is indexing concept is allowed in the list, and next slicing operation you can perform in the list, and the list is growable and shrinkable by using append and remove functions. Okay, so this is about the list data type. Now let me show a sample program on list data type. So go to Python idle. Here you have taken a list which is an empty list. So just I am printing the type of the list, type function. So what is the purpose of the type function? It will print the data type of the element, right? So save. So now I am running the module. So see, it is a list data type, right? Now here in this empty list, I am going to insert some elements. Suppose if you want to insert some elements in the list, then we can perform insertion operation by using append function, right? So L dot append of 10. Like that I am going to insert some 2 to 3 elements in the list. L dot append of 30. So here now I am running the program again. Okay, so see here, sorry, let me print L now. Print of L. So see now in the empty list, now I have added 3 elements. So 10, 20, 30. These 3 elements are now inserted into the list by using append function. Okay, similarly you can also insert other data type elements also. So here I am going to insert some string data type. L dot append of string. Okay, see. So print the L value now. So here see now 10, 20, 30 and high string element is also inserted because list allows heterogeneous data types, right? Next, now here if you want to remove the elements from the list, then we can go for remove function. L dot remove of, suppose if I am going to remove high, I don't want string element in my list. Okay, now I am printing the value of L again. See, so now I have removed this string element. Now my list contains 10, 20, 30 only. So by using remove function, you can remove the elements of the list, and by using append function, you can add elements into the list. Okay, so these two are important built-in functions to perform operations in the list. Okay, thank you.